Now we're going to look at what happens when we want to multiply or divide functions. Again, the domain of h of x. We start by taking a look at the domain of f of x, which is all real numbers, and the domain of g of x. G of x's domain, because it's a radical, means we can't have any negative numbers underneath the radical symbol. So we're going to say x minus 5 is greater than or equal to 0. It can equal 0 because the square root of 0 is 0. Obviously, we can do that. In this case, x is going to have to be greater than or equal to 5. So my domain, which is the intersection of the domain of g and the domain of f, is just x is greater than 5. H of x. Find the new function rule. If h of x equals f of x times g of x, you can write f of x times g of x, substitute in to say f of x equals 3x times g of x is just the square root of x minus 5. A lot of times you can simplify. In this case you can't. For example, if you were to have a quadratic, x squared minus 2x minus 3 all over x minus 3, in that case you'd be able to factor x minus 3 and x plus 1, and that's all divided by x minus 3. These factors would cancel. In this case, though, we're just left with a simple expression, 3x times the square root of x minus 5. Evaluate h of 3. Well, h of 3, we can't. H of 3 isn't our 3 is not in our domain, so we can't evaluate it. When we take a look at h of negative 2, again, that's not in our domain. That's kind of boring, so we're going to change that. Let's take a look at h of, 10. Evaluate h of 10, we're going to plug it right into our new function rule. That's going to equal 3 times 10 times the square root of 10 minus 5. That gives us 30 square roots of 5. Division is going to be something pretty similar, except we're going to have one tiny little adjustment for our domain. The domain of f of x is all real numbers. The domain of g of x is all real numbers. Previously, we just looked at the intersection. So you would assume maybe the domain of h of x will be all real numbers. But we have to remember, because we're dividing by g of x then cannot equal 0. Can't divide by 0. Which means that 3x minus 6 can't equal 0. Which means 3x cannot equal 6. So our domain is all real numbers, except for x cannot equal 2. Finding a new function rule, h of x equals f of x over g of x, which will equal 2x minus 5 all over the quantity 3x minus 6. To evaluate h of 7, we'll take it, put it under our new function rule, 2 times 7 minus 5 over 3 times 7 minus 6. That's 14 minus 5 over 21 minus 6. That's 9 over 21 minus 6 is 15, which simplifies to 3/5.